Good evening and welcome to the Ken Patterson Show, guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence and thank you for your energy. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you would, please hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, all the good stuff, man. Keep us rocking in the algorithm. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Tonight, we're doing what the mainstream media refuses to do, guys. We're stepping back and we're reviewing the week honestly. Let's start with the State of the Union address. Every year, we're told this is the moment, the reset, the pivot, the vision speech. And every year, it feels more like political theater than a serious accounting of where the country actually stands. We heard applause lines. We heard applause breaks. We heard carefully crafted sound bites designed for campaign ads and social media clips. But what we didn't hear was real accountability. We didn't hear a clear explanation for why Americans are still struggling with high prices at the grocery store. We didn't hear a serious plan to address the chaos at the border beyond recycled promises. And we certainly didn't hear humility. Instead, we got a familiar message. Trust us. Things are better. Things are better than you think. But if things are better, why do so many Americans feel worse? You can spin statistics, you can massage numbers, but you can't spin lived experience. People know what they're paying at the pump. They know what their rent looks like. They know what it costs to insure their home. They know what they're seeing in their communities. And that disconnect between Washington's celebration and every American's reality is the real story. Now let's talk about something else that happened this week. Candace Owens. Candace Owens once again found herself in the crosshairs. It's almost predictable at this point. The pattern is familiar. A conservative voice speaks, the outrage machine activates, headlines are written, context is stripped, motives are assigned, and within hours, the narrative is set. But here's what's fascinating. You don't have to agree with everything Candace says to notice this pattern. The response isn't just disagreement, it's delegitimization. It's not, I disagree with her. It's, she's dangerous. It's, she shouldn't have a platform. It's, silence her. This should tell you something. Because in a healthy democracy, ideas compete. Arguments are debated. Claims are challenged. But what we're seeing more and more is an attempt to define certain viewpoints as morally unacceptable. Not wrong, not debatable, but unacceptable. And once that line is crossed, discussion ends. Now, I also want to say this clearly. Disagreement is fair game. Public figures should be challenged. That's part of the job. But when criticism turns into coordinated demonization, when it shifts from debating ideas to attacking character, we've moved into something different. We've moved into narrative enforcement. And this isn't about one person, it's about a larger cultural pattern. We are watching a country that increasingly sorts people into two categories, approved voices and unaccepted voices. If you say the right things, you're amplified. If you question the right things, you're scrutinized. If you challenge the narrative, you're targeted. That's not strength, that's insecurity. A confident society doesn't fear debate. A confident society doesn't try to erase dissent. A confident society can withstand uncomfortable conversations. The bigger question tonight is this. Why are we so afraid of disagreement? Why has political opposition turned into moral condemnation? And why does every major cultural moment now feel like a loyalty test? This week showed us something important. It showed us that Washington will continue presenting polished speeches and calling it progress. And it showed us that independent voices will continue being tested, challenged, and yes, sometimes attacked. But here's the thing. The American people are smarter than they're given credit for. They can listen. They can evaluate. They can decide for themselves. And maybe that's what really unsettles the gatekeepers. Because when citizens think independently, control slips. Tonight, we're going to break it all down. The speech, the reaction, the media framing, the broader cultural battle playing out right in front of us. No shouting, no hysteria, just clarity. Because at the end of the day, this show isn't about personalities. I'm just a regular guy, right? This isn't about any personalities. It's about principles. And one of the principles is simple. You don't have to agree with someone to defend their right to speak. You don't have to like someone to oppose their erasure. And you don't have to accept the narrative just because it's being repeated loudly. This is America. Debate is not a threat. Silencing debate is. Let's get into it, guys. Thanks. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Again, please hit that follow, like, subscribe button, all the good stuff, man. Yeah. Man. So the State of the Union. I watched as much as I could. It was just way over the top for me. It was phony. It was fake. Just really over rehearsed. It was fake. It was so fake. And to sit at home and watch this stuff, and after everything that we've found out and everything that we know about the Epstein files and all of these people sitting up here, not one word, not one mention of that in the State of the Union. And I would think, and I'm, maybe it doesn't have anything, maybe it's not relevant, maybe it's not, maybe that's not the time or the space to talk about, elite people raping and trafficking children. Maybe that's not the time for that. But to sit and watch these people applaud every other line and give a standing ovation for every other line, we've heard it all before. We've seen it all before. This is what they do. This is what they do every 4 years, or every State of the Union, every 5 years, whatever it is. President gets up and gives us this bullshit about where the country is and how great the country is doing. Yet people aren't feeling that. People aren't feeling that the country is doing better. Not just financially, but spiritually as well. The country is failing. Our leaders are failing us. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. And then the Democrats doing their just this whole partisan thing, man, is sickening now. It's really sickening. It's hard to watch this shit. Just because, man, in my mind, and I don't know how everybody else feels, but in my mind, we know that these people are criminals. We know that we're being led by criminals, man. This is, it's incredible that we are still buying into this stuff, man. Like, we still believe any of these politicians. And to see these, I get it if you're a politician. I get it. I guess, you're just about money. It's all about money for politicians. And that's just what it is. They don't care about the American people. They don't care about you or me and how we make it or how we get by. That's not their concern. They rob us. They rob us, and it's just hard to deal with this crap, man. It's hard to sit back and watch these people continue to lie. Hillary Clinton says she didn't even know Jeffrey Epstein, and we all know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. It's just incredible, man. I don't know. I don't know how we continue to, really. I watched the State of the Union just because I wanted to see if there would be any mentioning of any. And I don't know why I watched this damn State of the Union, actually, because I knew that there was not going to be any accountability. We all went to battle for this guy, man, in 2020. We all swore up and down that the election was rigged and stolen and Donald Trump was robbed. But in retrospect, in hindsight, I think this motherfucker was in on all of it. I really do. I think he knew all of it. I think the whole shit was a plan. I think so. And I don't really know what to say about it, because I just feel like we should be doing something different. We should be, I think we should be raising hell. I think we should be raising hell out here. And it's crazy that we let the devil make our laws, right? The devil is the lawmaker here. So, and we all abide by the devil's laws here. We know what these people are. We know what they are. It's ridiculous that we're still participating. We're still participating. That is absurd. It's absurd that we're still participating in this crap, man. I don't get it. I just really don't get it. How are we still doing this? How are we still doing this to ourselves? When are we actually going to wake up? When are we going to actually wake up? And watching these clowns, man, it's hard to watch them, and then just to see what's going on with Candace Owens and that stuff, man, like, that is ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Every post, every video on X is a video of somebody trying to trash Candace Owens. And, I watched Dan Bongino and what he had to say about Candace Owens, and I've watched all of these idiots and what they had to say about Candace Owens. And one thing that I used to watch Dan's show, I used to watch Dan faithfully, right? And one thing that Dan used to say about the left all the time is that you knew when you were over the target by their reaction. So, Dan, this same thing is true for you guys right now. You all are reacting because Candace Owens is over the fucking target. And y'all all know it anyway. Dan left the FBI for what? Why? There's no explanation. I mean, other than I guess he just wanted to get back to the podcasting. Maybe they felt like he was more useful there. He could spread their propaganda better as a podcast host. So maybe that's why he left, but nobody knows. Or maybe he and Pam Bundy didn't really agree, or maybe he and Pam Bundy didn't really get along. But for him to be sitting up on platform talking about Candace Owens and her being tortured and this all dumb shit is the same thing that you said the left was guilty of whenever you got over a target of theirs, because they all aligned to attack you. But here you are doing the same thing to Candace Owens, who was in the past loved by all you conservatives. But because she separated with you guys at Israel and with this Erica Kirk lady that y'all want to try to make us believe is a grieving widow. But the more you talk about it, the more we know that she's not a grieving widow. And by the way, the first part of Candace's series on Erica Kirk, The Bride of Charlie, was great. It was great. She brought receipts. So if Candace is lying, why hasn't Mrs. Kirk or Erica Kirk sued Candace Owens? Or maybe that's in the works. Maybe that's coming next. But Candace Owens is brilliant, man. They know it. Dan knows it. Ben Shapiro knows it. He knows that. Officer Tatum knows that. And all the rest of you clowns know that. And this is why we know that some other shit went on. And Dan probably knows a whole lot more than he's letting on and saying anything about. Just a fucking sucker, man. Just whatever your paymasters tell you to do. And you know what the fuck we mean. Like, we're not talking about, maybe they didn't slide you a check, but shit, they advertise with you. They do all kinds of shit with you, man. Don't play stupid, man. Y'all need to cut that shit out. Y'all need to stop with this thing that y'all are trying to do to Candace Owens, man. And then, these people, she's making money off of this grieving widow. She's making man. She's been making money. She's not just now making money. Shit, she's been making money. Her show's been great. Her show's been at the top of the charts. And now all of a sudden, because she questions Erica Kirk, she's a devil. She's a demon. Man, y'all go to hell with all of that shit. And you see, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Religion is still at the root of all of this shit. A fake religion. A fake religion is still at the root of all of this. And Candace Owens wouldn't agree with that. And she has a right to disagree with that. Just like you guys have a right to disagree with her, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to shape a narrative. So that if something happens to Candace Owens, then we told her. God was mad at her. We told her. And you'll have some actual assholes come on social media and say something like that. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And these guys, man, they are just lying to us every day. Lying, looking you in your face and lying to you every day about this Candace Owens stuff, man, and about Erica Kirk. She wasn't just a grieving. She's not just a grieving widow. That's not true. That's not true. She's not just a grieving widow. This woman is so much more or so much less then what all of these people know? All of these people that are out here attacking Candace Owens they probably know. These people probably know. Dan and these guys probably know exactly who this woman is. They know. Because they're FBI. They're FBI. So they know. But Candace Owens is an investigator. And she's investigating. She's allowed to ask questions. She's allowed to look. Whether you people like it or not, man. It's ridiculous. But the more y'all come on and say all this dumb shit, the more people know. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. And I speak for just a regular old everyday guy. That's what I am. Just a regular old everyday person. And the more y'all try to make us hate Candace Owens, the more we love her. So stop it. Because we're not listening to you people anymore. We don't listen to y'all anymore, man. At one point, I'm telling you, I listened to Dan Bongino every morning. I used to listen to this guy every morning before he left for the FBI. Because I trusted him. You know, his expertise is great. His knowledge is great. But this shit he's doing right here, no, sir. No, sir. You are making yourself more and more obvious. You just every day you're gonna come on and talk about people attacking Erica Kirk, man. But you won't say one fucking thing about these fucking child rapists in these Epstein files. Not one fucking thing. But you want us to take you seriously and believe what you're saying? Man, you go to hell, man. And all the rest of y'all, man, that's out here attacking this woman like that. A bunch of fucking men attacking this woman like this. You fucking cowards, man. With all this fake ass rage. Fake ass outrage. Y'all a bunch of fucking paid actors, bro. All of y'all. This is not a kid show tonight, man. This is not kid friendly because this shit is getting serious, man. Like I saw another clip of Dan this happening. Man, I've never seen it like this. We're getting dangerously close. Man, get out of here with that shit, man. Stop. With your fear mongering and shit. Big headed ass. Man, this is crazy, man. You know, this used to be America. This used to be a place where you could say what you want to say, man, and it didn't matter if somebody got upset or hurt, cried about it, whatever, man. You have the right to say what you want to say. Don't be violent. Don't break the law. You can't put your hands on anybody. You can, but shit, they have the right to put their hands back on you. So expect that. But talking, saying what you want to say, asking questions, investigating, digging deep. People coming on, oh, she said she was Charlie's friend. She was Erica's friend. She was Charlie's friend, not Erica's friend. And Erica don't seem to give a shit about what happened to Charlie too much. She lied about reading an autopsy, seeing an autopsy. She doesn't seem to care. She seemed to be okay with whatever the FBI is telling her. You know, our folks, I trust our folks, is what she said. I trust our people. Man, this man is dead. Dead. And because his friend is asking questions, because this shit is fishy, At best, this shit is fishy. So she's the devil because she wants to ask questions. All right, man. All right. That's real good. That's real good, guys. But again, the more y'all bitch and moan about Candace Owens, the more we love her. And you guys can still see that what you're doing is not even affecting what's happening with her show. It's not affecting her numbers. You look stupid. You look obvious. You're outing yourselves. Now we see why Dan would never really touch on anything that really fucking matters. Always trying to give us a fucking boogeyman. Always trying to make us think that what they're saying matters. And what they're saying doesn't mean shit to your life. It doesn't affect your life in one way, in one bit, one fucking, in one way. It does not affect your life. All the shit that they talk about every day. None of it affects you. Even Candace Owens, even her investigation into Charlie Kirk's death does not affect your life. This is her mission. This is something she wants to get to the bottom of. And if y'all want to watch and ride along, then that's cool. I have been. I watched the first episode. And I'm going to watch the other ones too. But it's crazy to try to have this whole smear campaign. And that's exactly what it is. It's a smear campaign. Dan doing the same shit you accused the left of doing. You're doing the same thing. And you're just as obvious as the left, brother. We see you too. We see what you're doing too. So we know that Candace Owens is over the target. We know this. Just by the reaction from all of you guys over there. All of y'all feeling like y'all got to run to Erica Kirk's rescue. And she's happy to hide right behind y'all's ass. Happy to not come out and say one fucking word. And let y'all do all the talking for her. Because she knows. They know. This woman is right. They know Candace Owens is right. This is why we're seeing the reaction that we are seeing. Man, are we still, or do we still believe these people? Do we still believe Washington and these narratives that these people try to put out? They want us to hate Candace Owens because she wants to ask questions about what really happened to Charlie Kirk. So they want us to hate her because she's questioning Erica Kirk's background and who she is and what she's about, what she's been into. You know, the orphanages in Romania and shit. Who is this lady, man? And we can't ask questions, and she's the head of $1 billion nonprofit? But we can't know who she is, right? She, with her fake ass. She's fake. Totally fake. Fake emotion. Fake tears. She obviously has no emotion about this. She doesn't even know how to fake it. She's a horrible actress at this. She doesn't know how to play sad. Not for this. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. I mean, the veil for me came up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Because we now see exactly who these people are. We can see who Dan is, and we can see who well, we've been knowing who Ben Shapiro is. We've been knowing who Ben Shapiro is. A little dipshit. You know, we've been knowing who Ben Shapiro is, you know? He's a sucker, he's a coward. You know, he's not even, you know, less than a real man, you know. Ben Shapiro, he's just a little sucker. And anyway, you know, we can't let any of these influencers influence anything. Let them bring their stories, you know, let them come with their stories, and we will disseminate whether or not we want to believe them, if we want to, you know, disregard what they have to say. You know, like, it's not up to Dan Bongino. It's not up to, it's not about whether or not Candace Owens is wrong or right. You know, that has nothing to do with anything. You know, you have to be able to listen to this information and discern for yourself what you think about it. Don't let anybody influence what you think. That's why you have your own brain. You know, that's why you're an individual. Free thinking is what we should all be doing. None of us should be following along behind each other, going in fads. We should be 8 billion individuals with their own free thinking. Now, it's okay if you think or if you feel like somebody else. That's okay. That's okay. But you don't have to be in trends, and you don't have to follow along because he said it or she said it. You are allowed to think for yourself. You're allowed to think for yourself. You are allowed to think for yourself. That's why God gave you a brain, your own brain, so that you can think for yourself. You know, that's what it's all about. This is what all of this is about, guys. This is why we're here, so that we can think for ourselves, so that we can discern information for ourselves, so that we can create for ourselves and create for the planet. All of us have a job to do here. Like, we all have a job to do here. And it's not just about, you know, fighting and arguing all the time, man, because that seems like that's what we do. It seems like we're not happy unless we're disagreeing or fighting or arguing or killing or whatever it is, man. We don't seem happy unless we're in an unhappy place, which is crazy, right? We don't seem happy unless we're in an unhappy place. And that's a bad place for us to be, in that kind of place. You know, it kills me. It kills me to see these guys doing what they are trying to do to this lady in her platform, because she's asking questions. It's incredible. You know? So you got, you know, guys, tonight wasn't about personalities. You know, it wasn't about applause lines. It wasn't about trending hashtags. It was about something deeper. We watched a State of the Union that projected confidence, but millions of Americans are still asking hard questions about their economic reality, about security, about leadership, and about truth. And we watch what happens when a controversial voice refuses to stay quiet. Here's the bigger issue. If we only defend speech we agree with, we don't have free discourse. We have preference. If we only tolerate debate when it's comfortable, we don't have strength. We have fragility. America was never built on unanimous agreement. It was built on argument, messy, loud, uncomfortable argument. But lately, it feels like disagreements is being reframed as danger. That's a shift worth paying attention to. You can disagree with Candace Owens. You can disagree with conservative voices. You can disagree with this show. But if the instinct becomes to silence instead of challenge, to label instead of debate, to isolate instead of engage, then we're weakening the very thing that makes this country resilient. A confident nation debates. An insecure nation, an insecure culture demonizes. And tonight we ask which one we're becoming. We don't need curative narratives. We need honest conversation. We don't need outrage cycles. We need accountability. That's what this show is about. Clarity over chaos, principles over personalities, debate over destruction. Thank you for being a part of the conversation, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Peace. I love you.